Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier, the DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday, October the 24th. Race number 7 at beautiful Belmont Park. 2-year-old filly maidens going 6 furlongs on the main track. You can bet the race, you can bet the Belmont card with a new DRFBets account. Sign up, receive a 300% deposit match at bets.drf.com. Let's take a look at this field of 2-year-old filly maidens going 6 furlongs. $75,000 is the purse. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take this field in post position order. Matt, we're going to try to drop as much info for the folks as possible because only one of these fillies has actually reached the starting gate, and that one, the number 7, Blonde Moments, only started once.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think there's a number of interesting pedigrees in here. I'm not sure how many of them are going to love 6 furlongs because I feel like a few of them are going to be better suited going longer, but you may be seeing these names again in bigger races as they continue on and eventually go on to be 3-year-olds.
Trainer Kieran McLaughlin has a couple in here. We'll begin with the number 1, Clara Allen. This was a $190,000 buyback as a September yearling at Keeneland. The following month, she found a home. She sold for $200,000. She's by Curlin, 11% 2-year-old debut winners from runners. She's a half to a stakes-winning sprinter in an off-the-turf race named Homespun Hero.
Yeah, Homespun Hero, if you're familiar with him, just kind of a solid blue-collar type. He was no superstar, but like you say, a stakes winner. You can look on the dam side. Vision and Verse, who was an Illinois Derby winner, is on there as well. You brought up the Curlin piece. I kind of look at the Vision and Verse piece on the dam side. I look at Curlin. I see 10% with the 2-year-old debut runners. There's a part of me that wonders if additional distance is going to be beneficial, and also no bargain breaking from the rail.
I think you make some very good points there. Vision and Verse, Illinois Derby winner, also a runner-up in the Belmont and the Travers. The second dam was grade 1 placed routing on the dirt. I think she was second to Inside Information in the Ashland. She was a classy horse. Not only does she have to break from the rail, I don't see a published work in 17 days, and that concerns me. That just doesn't seem very Kieran-ish for the 1, Clara Allen. I agree with you, distance down the road for me. The 2 is Chica Boom Cheek, one of 2 in here, trained by Chad Brown. This was a $975,000 weanling purchase, and when you look at this pedigree, it really isn't that much of a surprise. She's by Super Stallions Tappet, 14% 2-year-old debut winners. The dam was a multiple stakes winner at 2 on Synth and Turf, and the dam is a half to Bordenaro, who was a really good grade 1 winning sprinter. So you get a nice combination of stamina and speed, and you get Chad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in many ways you could look at this horse and make the argument that going forward, she may end up being the best of the lot with some time. Like you say, the pedigree is there in spades. The dam, she was also overall 2 for 9. You brought up those stakes placings as a 2-year-old. But I mean, to me, that's something else that you need to really take a look at, particularly when you dive into the dam side of things. Not only do I want to see winners on the dam side, I want to see some precocity. I want to see the 2-year-olds. Do they have any sort of success? You have it here with Chica Boom Cheek. I think there's a real scenario where she ends up being the best down the road. Is she ready to go first out? We'll find out. I think you're going to probably get a good enough effort, but keep in mind, it's Chad, it's a rad. You're probably going to get betting here.
Right next door is the other Chad Brown trained entrant, and that's the morning line favorite in this race, the number 3, Break Curfew, a $220,000 yearling purchase by Into Mischief, a good 2-year-old debut stallion, wins 13%. Dan was a stakes place turf sprinter, but she's a full sister to Zeta Bell, who is a multiple stakes winner and earned a couple of 99 Beyer speed figures. So there's a lot of speed in this family. Javier takes them out. I can understand why David Aragona made this one the morning line favorite.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it is interesting. I don't know for certain, but you go through and look and see the workouts are almost all matching up with Chica Boom Cheek, so I do wonder if there's a scenario where these two have been basically working out together, going hand in hand. You brought up the dam. She was also a winner as a 2-year-old. I think that's something to take note of. And this horse is 3/4 to a horse called Feeded, who was 3 for 22 as a dirt sprinter, clearly not a superstar, but 0 for 2 as a 2-year-old, so something to factor in. But the fact that the dam won early on, I think that speaks, I don't want to say volumes, but I think it helps this one's cause.
The number 4 is Florida-bred, homebred Fuji. This is a daughter of Brethren who wins 8% of the time with his 2-year-old first-time starters. The dam went 0 for 1, but she's been pretty productive as a broodmare. She's thrown the grade 1 placed 2-year-old Liquidity, who I think was second in the Hollywood Futurity way back when it was running a synthetic surface. But that horse also won his career debut sprinting on the dirt, and Fuji is also a half to Pink Poppy, a multiple stakes winner on the turf. So I do wonder if maybe a little distance and maybe a surface switch to turf or synth.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I'm looking at this horse. Look, Rudy obviously can get these types ready to go. It's nice to see Manny Franco takes them out. I do wonder if you're going to see better second time out. And like you say, not only additional distance, but perhaps a different surface. We'll find out if this one takes to the dirt. Wouldn't be surprised if at some point they tried the grass.
Number 5 is Ask Siri, who's gone through the auction ring on 3 separate occasions. A $45,000 buyback as a yearling. That same year, she then sold for $77,000. And then back in May of 2018, she sold for $110,000. She's by Union Rags, the Belmont winner, 10% winners with 2-year-old debut runners. The Dam was a debut winner as an older horse sprinting on the dirt, and she is a half to Silver Train, who won both the Breeders' Cup Sprint and the Met Mile. So we've got a little bit of pedigree and speed here.
I think the pedigree is fascinating, and this is another horse. Look. Bruce Levine is capable of getting first-time starters to win. I think let the price be your guide here. I think this horse is interesting. I do question a little bit about the distance simply because whenever I see Union Rags, I think they're going to probably at least want a one-turn type of mile. But you brought up the fact that Silver Train is there and is a sibling to the Dam and won the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So how much more speed could you possibly want going shorter distances? There's a scenario I could see this horse outrunning the odds. I think it might be a little bit on the difficult side to get the job done, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if this one gave a good account of herself and then eventually move forward with a little bit more ground.
Elyzio is the 6th. This is a Godolphin homebred for Kieran McLaughlin by Ghost Sapper, who wins 9% of the time with 2-year-old debut runners. The Dam placed in her only start, but she's a half-sister to Better Lucky. And how versatile was Better Lucky? Multiple Grade 1 stakes winner going long on the turf, but then cut back and placed in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. The second Dam was a graded stakes winner, and the third Dam won the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So your typical Godolphin classy pedigree. Is she ready to go first out?
Yeah, that's going to be the question here. You look, Kieran's numbers with the first out of the box, they just really aren't ready to go. I think this is going to be an instance where a horse probably needs one before you see her best. I guess my question is, you brought up all that pedigree, and look, it's a positive to have all that on your side. It's kind of all over the place. It's turf, it's going a little bit longer on dirt, it's shorter on dirt. There's a part of me that does wonder if turf is eventually going to be really where this one wants to go, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this one could end up running on the main track as well.
If you believe experience counts, you land on the 7, Blonde Moment, the only filly in the race with prior racing experience. And she got bet in her debut, down to 4-1. She's trained by Dermot Manier, a young assistant to Chad Brown, who's done pretty well from limited opportunities thus far. He's just getting started. Blonde Moment did take money in that race, caught a sloppy track, got banged around at the start. It's too early to give up on her.
Yeah, I think it is interesting this one took as much money as she did early on. Now, again, you've got excuses galore for that debut. Perhaps you get a fast main track, second out of the box. Perhaps you get a cleaner start. You get Joel Rosario. For what it's worth, this one's a half to a horse called Snapperette, who was 1-for-4 as a 2-year-old. So, again, some precocity there. I really like the Jimmy Creeds going shorter distances on the main track. Look, again, I think you hit the nail on the head. If you're not totally sold, and I understand there's a lot of pedigrees there, if you want some experience, and you can't help but think Blonde Moment's going to benefit from having all that thrown at her, I think she's at least mildly intriguing.
She's a half to a stakes place dirt sprinter named Power Walker as well. The Dam won 3 routes. The 8 is Waving Flags, a $110,000 yearling by Hardspun, who gets 8% winners from 2-year-old debut runners. The Dam was a stakes-winning dirt sprinter, and boy, has she been productive with precocious runners. This one's a half to Oliver Zip, a stakes-winning dirt sprinter and 2-year-old debut winner, and KK, who was grade 2 placed, I think, 3rd behind Songbird in the Summertime Oaks, but that horse also won her career debut sprinting it to some precocity and some fast works for Brian Lynch.
Yeah, this one wouldn't be a surprise at all. The thing that I don't want to say at least, the thing that kind of turned me off slightly is look at those gaps in the workout tab in each of the 3 most recent works. You've got a 2-week gap basically separating each of the past 3. There's a part of me that does wonder, are we going to be fit enough and ready to go going 6 furlongs? But boy, that run 2 starts back, 59-3 out of the gate. That's certainly what you'd like to see. You would imagine there's going to be some early speed. To be honest with you, though, I see Hardspun, and I still think 6 furlongs, we're going to want a little bit more ground when it's all said and done.
Completing this field is the number 9, Ebullient by Twirling Candy. And I was surprised and pleased to see 20% 2-year-old debut winners from runners for Twirling Candy. The Dam's an unraced half-sister to a stakes winner named Maureen's Hope, who just wanted to go all day on the turf. Won an 11-furlong stakes at Delmar on the grass. She's also a half to another stakes place turf runner. This is a $62,000 weanling who sold up for $130,000 as a yearling. And while I don't like the 15-day gap in between the last 2 works, she's been working very fast down at Fair Hill.
was going to say, if there is any sort of consolation to the fact that she has missed some time, they've just been bullet after bullet after bullet. So clearly she's in good form going forward. You bring up sort of the most important thing for me. I'm not totally convinced that the main track is where this one is going to excel. I think you see so much turf on the bottom half. And look, Twirling Candy, you brought up that nice piece, 20% with the 2-year-old firsters. He's also very capable as far as a turf sire is concerned. And Michael Matz is not known for getting him ready to go first out of the box. It's nice to see Velasquez named here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this won more distance and grass going down the road.
Let's take a look at our top selections for Wednesday's DRFBets race of the day. You're going with Chad, the 2 Chica Boom Cheek. Tap it, Philly. Cost almost $1 million as a weanling. Lots of pedigree connections, lots to like.
Yeah, and you see the owner, Peter Brandt. I mean, this one is supposed to probably be a good one down the road, and we'll find out whether she's ready to go first out of the box or not. I think you're going to get a fair enough effort. Whether she wins or not, we'll find out on Wednesday afternoon. But there is a part of me that looks at it and says, based on the pedigree, based on the connections, based on what they paid for her, I think she's supposed to be one of the best ones coming out of this race down the road. And again, I think you're still at that time. I understand they're not getting ready for the Breeders' Cup or anything like that. This could very easily be a productive race going forward, as these fillies are soon to be 3-year-olds here in a couple months.
I'll go with the 5-Ass Series. We talked about her pedigree. Bruce Levine is really having a great Belmont meet. 13 of 24 in the exacta for Bruce, and over the past 90 days, he has sent out 4 first-time starters. 3 of them finished second at odds of 6-1, 7-1, and 27-1. And I think the 5-Ass Series has been working in company with a couple of those horses. So I agree with your prior statement that she might outrun her odds. I think she's a little bit of value at 12-1 on the morning line. Give me numbers.
I'm going to go 2, 3, 8, and 5 in here.
I'm going 5, 9, 3, and 4 in Wednesday's DRFBets race of the day. You can play it from home with a DRFBets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com and immediately receive a 300% deposit match. Approximate post time for race number 7 at Belmont on Wednesday, 4:42 Eastern. Best of luck.